that you can kind of turn into later tech, but much more of it. And also in close air positions like these, you're always going to go hatchery first.
Awesome.
Because you're not worried about any sort of early pools because you can scout it with that overlord in time. So obviously, you go into this with the intention of going hatchery first. Your overlord gets there, you see 6 drones, you throw down a pool, and you win the game.
Yep. Now, if I see he's going hatch first, I don't make a pool till he does, right?
Yep. Exactly that. It's kind of like a Mexican standoff.
Gotcha.
You actually would even go gas first.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go over that as well, like hatch first hatch first builds.
All right.
So yeah, go ahead, drone to fort 15. And the other thing that gets complicated here is if you choose to hatchery block him by sending out a drone early. Sometimes I choose to do that.
Frustrating when you have to deal with that.
Yeah. Alright.
What do you think about the whole hatch cancel evo trick, if you see this kind of thing?
Oh, I haven't really run across that too much, to be honest with you. To block an expansion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. To be honest, I've never even had it done to me, but I guess I just have to go pool first.
But from the hatch point stand, is that something you would ever tell somebody that they should do? How far am I droning, by the way?
To block their expansion?
Yeah.
It would delay your own expansion.
Right.
So.
And you're throwing away 100 minerals at least.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's something I'd have to try out a few times.
All right. So what are we droning to?
You're just gonna drone to 19's fine, depending upon what you scout. Typically, you want to do 17. I just forgot to say it.
No problem.
Go ahead, transfer 5 drones to your natural, start a queen in each base, and throw down 2 spine crawlers immediately. Whenever you scout one base play, you're gonna initially throw down 2 spine crawlers and then add more from there.
Okay.
You want the spine crawlers kind of in front to help guard your ramp from Baneling. Yeah, so you'd have one there, and then space them out so Baneling doesn't do extra splash. Exactly. And then add a few Zerglings in. Typically I'll make 8 Zerglings or so, just in case they're going Baneling, to kind of push them back.
Okay.
And if they were going Baneling, I'd want to make an even trade for the Zerglings to reduce the Baneling numbers early on. And then pull both your queens to your ramp. And your drones are going out in the middle of that.
I did that on purpose.
It's good.
Proxy
Good
hatch.
scouting.
Proxy hatch.
Alright, go ahead and make 2 more spine crawlers. You're typically going to be making 4 if you ever see any sort of one base like this.
Still droning?
And you need... yep, still droning. You're going to be droning for a while, probably another 10 more supply.
Am I only injecting my natural?
Yep. Yeah, you can't be, moving into your main. It's not worth the risk at this point.
No third queen?
No, not yet. You'll be fine here. You should still have enough larvae, and then you can save up the resources just to use as tech later on.
What about gas?
You get gas right about now at about 40 supply.
Single or double?
Double. And you need to scout the expansion and see if they're choosing to go expand Speedling or, still just some sort of one base all-in.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because I feel like an all-in, well, maybe not even all-in, but just a mass Speedling off a fast expand is really strong.
Yeah, it is very strong, but you can still hold it with this build as long as you have proper scouting. Basically, it all has to do with their expansion timing. Obviously a one-base Speedling is much more obvious, but you still have to be prepared for a 2-base Speedling. And that means you right now would go ahead, take those Vespene Geysers, and then throw down a Roach Warren immediately. And I usually use the Roach Warren at my expansion somewhere to block. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, in the
And
past, I've used Evo chambers to wall in this natural. Why do I have so many minerals? This is ridiculous.
yeah, from here you also want to throw down a third hatchery as you start your lair in your main. And yeah, this is just typical two base. That's why it's so hard to deal with. To be honest, it really puts you at a huge advantage.
What am I most worried about?
Uh, Mutalist tech switch and one base speedling or two base speedling all in. That's why you need to start just making roaches immediately. You know, your economy's up. You don't have to worry about making any more drones from this point. You just need to make roaches. And now, once you have the roaches up, you can go ahead and send that queen back into your main.
Okay.
And
Alright.
typically, I'll put my third hatchery right next to the hatchery in my main, just to start using up some of that extra queen energy.
Gotcha.
And then go ahead, throw down an evolution chamber for +1, and then to defend against one base spire. As the lair finishes, you know, same thing. Immediate overseer. You're going to be doing the same sort of build, pretty much.
Okay.
And that's just kind of how it transitions. The other opening you can do is like a 2-base mass Zergling Baneling, but it's extremely risky.
Yeah, I've used that and I've had success with that. What about extra queens?
Against, you know, if you haven't quite scouted them on time, you're a little worried about Spire. It's a good idea to get extra queens. I don't like to get too many. Like, I know some people get like 7 or so, and
like the
just
MAGA?
use them in pushes. Yeah. And I mean, it's a strong push, but I don't know. I'd just rather have the supply as Hydralisk or something like that. But I know it also frees up gas for more roaches and things.
So what is our response to the 2-base mass speedling?
Exactly what you did. Static defense, queen block, and then early roaches.
Okay. So it's just hang in there until the roaches come out.
Yep.
That can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, it can be very hard. It's actually even harder in 2-base versus 2-base openings.
It's just so many lings. Like the ling numbers kind of overwhelm the roaches for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I kind of see the gist of what this is not a lot different from what I've been doing with my fast expand openings. I've never made 4 spines. I usually stop at 2.
Yeah, I just feel it's much safer, especially against roach openings, as long as you and baneling openings, as long as you spread them.
And then we just transition into the roach and eventually infester in the mid game.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's do it.
All right.
I'm gonna whoop that ass.
All right. Just to kind of test it. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna do a 1 light base baneling or roach all in. I just want you to hold it.
Cool. That's good practice for me because I always lose to that shit when I fast expand. Oh man, I've got the nerd back setting in. I'm sitting here for too long.
Yeah. Tell me about it. That's all I do.
Man, last week when I was tanking on ladder, I was streaming the whole time. I streamed for like 10 hours straight. I was like, oh shit.
That's ridiculous.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
That's good for even my standards.
So, yeah, I've got the time to do it right now, so why the hell not?
Yeah.
So what's the next big event that we can look to see Machine doing well?
I don't know. This Root Warzone, if Kiwi Kaki and Mana ever play, I hope. And, I don't know. There's not really any offline events that I know of. Well, any big ones for the rest of the year, so...
No plans on DreamHack?
There was plans. I got invited and didn't end up getting sent by EG. A little sad about
That
it.
sucks.
Oh well. It happens. It was kind of short notice. So.
Yeah.
pretty soon here I'm gonna just start saving up some money and then start sending myself to events like that I get invited in.
There you go. Especially if you're making top 4s.
Yeah, you know, previously before that, this MLG, I don't know, I've always been terrible with like nerve issues. I play fine online, but I go offline and I get just extremely nervous thinking about all the what ifs, you know, like overthinking my strategies and things like that, and just hasn't turned out well. And this time the whole event, I just was concentrating on not thinking about StarCraft 2, not thinking about who I was playing and things like that, and turned out fine, so just gonna keep that up from now on.
I thought that was awesome. I followed your play a little bit in Brood War, and I've always kind of been a fan, so I was really happy to see you do well.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Felt good, that's for sure.
Now, is there ever a point in ZvZ where I would actually sack an Overlord, or I always want to just wait till I have an Overseer?
You can if you're, you know, if something happened early on, you don't quite have the resources to spend on an Overseer, but you still have the Overlord and positioning to do so. And, you know, they're not showing you Roaches, they're not showing you Speedlings.
Right.
You know, or, well, I guess just Roaches, because Speedlings usually the transition to Muta. The only real tech you're worried about getting hit up with, like mid-game, would just be a Spire tech. So yeah, sometimes I will sack an Overlord. But it's usually rare. Usually you'll have the resources just to get that Overseer, and you need it for the Contaminate anyway.
Okay.
Alright, so as soon as that expansion goes down, 2 Spine Crawlers, make 8 Zerglings or so, and just get prepared for the all-in. Block your expansion with your Queens.
Oh wow, that's coming quick. Now, am I going to continue to produce Zerglings?
Yeah, from this point, if they're going to one base all-in, you just want to focus on stopping the all-in. So, no more drones, keep throwing down Spine Crawlers, do everything you can to hold off this rush. And once they start committing, making that many Banelings, it's all in. Like, you're 100% committed to just holding this off, and if you hold it off, the game is over. They can't, you know, there's no follow-up to this.
So I'm not worried about getting gas at this point?
Nope. Just pure Spine Crawlers and Zerglings. You can go ahead and get another Queen as well, if you'd like if you have the extra resources for it.
I do.
Nice. Perfect.